All right, welcome back to Deeper Conversations with me, your host, Matthew Silvers. I am here today with myself, looking kind of funky. I'm wearing this crazy, like neon green Top Golf shirt that I got when I worked at Top Golf. Fun fact, I actually opened the venue uh, in Orlando, and that was so exciting. That was 3.5 years ago. Oh my god, that's crazy to me. It has been a wild ride since then. Y'all know some of the things already, including from the first episode, which now that I'm like catching up and getting myself and you know, not pre-recording these, you guys really seem to like that first episode where I talk about my first date. You like some of my other guests. My favorite episodes are still about because we're getting sort of towards more of a format. I'm really excited to take it in the direction that I really want to take it, and we're going to talk about that more today. But the communication podcast that I've done, even if I do one individually, but the ones I've done with Irina, and the one I did with Irina and Faith, doing the first dates, that stuff is a huge interest. Again, today I have coffee in my hand, so I'm trying to drink it. I overfilled it, so if you hear me pause for 2 seconds, it's just because I'm enjoying my coffee from a 2013 mug that I made with a peace sign on it. And honestly, I haven't really inspected this thing since the beginning, but it's kind of cute as fuck. I mean, I just realized how much so there's polka dots on it. It's just literally a peace sign, and then polka dots because 13-year-old me couldn't do anything except for polka dots, obviously. But the mug has 3 polka dots, and the colors that I used for the polka dots are green, yellow, and red, and it looks just like a stoplight. So that's crazy. For anyone who wants to know what I drink at home, I have a Keurig. So it's just hot coffee, and then I use creamer. I use vanilla creamer. I typically have vanilla pods, but I got the Dunkin' Donuts like regular. No, that's a store brand. I have no idea what it is. It's just like regular blend or something. I think it's literally called regular blend. And then I use typically vanilla creamer. But anyways, so let's get to the more exciting stuff. So I like the direction that it's going. I have a lot of fun ideas ready to go. Irina's not my co-host. However, I wouldn't be shocked if she's on a lot of episodes. I like doing it with people, and I haven't had the time to message some other people to be like, hey, do you want to be on my podcast and talk about this? So we are going to have her on a lot, and I love her, and our conversations always, that's why I invited her on that first one about communication. She was the one I talked to about it, and we were just bouncing ideas one off of the other. So it's been nice. So I want to talk about my week for 2 seconds, and then we're going to get right into what I want to talk about, which is love languages. And I'm very excited to talk about it. We're going to talk about love. This podcast is called Deeper Conversations. It's about conversations that I choose by topic, or even if we just go off of random, some of the beginning guests, we just start talking and we go down that hole, and eventually we get super deep and we just kind of forget what we're talking about. But we're gonna talk about love languages today. And I really want to go. Communication is my big one. So I want to take that communication podcast, the one that me and Irina did, and take it through the stages of dating. And then we'll do some friendship ones, because friendships are also very complicated, and they take a lot of communication. I remember by heart my top two. There are 5 love languages. But let me talk about my week first. But I was trying to find my original results, but I couldn't find them. They're probably on my Facebook somewhere. So week has been pretty crazy. I've been doing a lot of stuff. Yesterday, this new week in general has been absolutely ridiculous. It's Tuesday. It's Wednesday. Oh my God. Ha. And I've already done a bunch of things. And I still have a couple of other things that I need to get done for sure. I'm trying to finish the What If It's Us book. I still haven't finished. Because I've been watching a couple of other TV shows that happen to come on TV. Shadow and Bone, Netflix, just finished last night. Incredible, obsessed with. But I'm trying to finish What If It's Us. I did my laundry yesterday. Nobody really cares about this, but I'm getting somewhere with it. I promise. I was just being super productive, but I got, so it's in Colorado a couple weeks ago. It's been just like really difficult to find a vaccine. Most of them have just been like shut down. They would say, get your vaccine. You would hit it. You would like go through the form, which sucks. It should tell you if it's available first without filling out the form and then filling out the form so you don't waste your time. You had to fill out the form, go through, and then it pops up the dates it's available. Zero, absolutely none. The Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado opened up for drive-through testing. So I got mine literally yesterday, Monday. Oh my God, I literally swear to God, I think it's Tuesday. But so I got mine on Monday. Arm was sore. I forgot to do the little rotating thing. My arm's a little bit better today. I did arms yesterday, which was maybe not the smartest idea. I don't know. However, it's stuck. There we go. It was an interesting experience. I mean, it was really fun. I mean, I was just chill, but it was like a weird, those like zombie apocalypse things that they build, like just a fun like experience. And I think it's like the zombies have like white glow in the dark paint, but like you can't tell if you've been tagged until the end. That's what it looked like. Mine was next to an abandoned amusement park right here in Denver, Colorado. So I felt like, and then obviously there were huge white tents. And at the end, you wait in these lines of cars in the 15-minute waiting spot because you're supposed to wait like 15 to 30 minutes to see if you have any reactions. And it was so crazy. But the vaccine, when I tell you, I've gotten plenty of shots before for like, all of the ones you're supposed to do as a kid, that I can't remember. I've had the flu shot plenty of times. Um, and then I've had like tetanus shots and some other one. You get what, is it the three tetanus shots or is it three hepatitis shots? Something. But I'll tell you what, that was the least pain I've ever been in with a shot, with a needle, I should say. That needle was so light, and I was like, what? Because that was the first time I'd ever felt nervous, except for like the first time, you know what I mean? When you get a shot. Since that time, that was the first time I was ever nervous to get a needle. I'm getting it. I got it. My second dose is on June the 7th. But I was nervous to do it because I had never done like a vaccine before, obviously. And so I went, and like I said, it was super light, but I was really nervous. There was one point where I was about to cry, like before I was in, just because of nerves, not because of anything else. And I was like, oh, you got to get yourself together. So I did it and I was completely fine. Like I said, it was super light. I had a very lovely, sweet lady. She was so kind. She was like, you're the easiest I've had all day today. And I was like, oop, that says something. So that was fun. Yesterday night, I love Queen Herbie, formerly known as Carmen. Love her music. If you've not listened to it, go listen to it. It's incredible. She is dropping her debut album. She's plenty of EPs. Like there's so many EPs that make up 5 albums, I swear. That's how many songs Queen Herbie has produced, and put out. But she has her debut coming out on May 21st, I believe. And on her website, well, it was last night I saw this TikTok from her, and she said, get ready for a limited time. You can buy a signed CD. And of course, I love Carmen, but I love Queen Herbie and even more. I don't know what I'm calling her. It's Queen Her. Is it with a B or a V? Oh shoot, it's with a V. I'm almost positive Queen Herbie. But I never even told you. Oh my God, my mind is going crazy. Anyways, so I bought a signed CD last night. I'm very excited. Her debut album is called Woman, or The Woman, or A Woman, something Woman, or maybe just Woman. I should have looked this information up before I started, but here we are. To go backwards for 2 seconds, the rest of my outfit, so the shirt's from Topgolf and the hat is my grandfather. So I look kind of crazy because I'm also wearing glasses. Also last night, the first ever drag queen I ever met was actually when I worked at Disney. He was my coordinator. I knew nothing about drag queens like too much, and I didn't realize at the time. I'll tell this conversation because it's really fun. Um, I was working the parade that day. This was the first time I had ever met him, and his name is Jeff. His drag queen name, or I guess her drag queen name is Ryder Knightley. which is incredible, by the way. The first time I ever heard that, I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. But I was working the parade. I think I had a question, and he was talking to somebody else, and it was about him being a drag queen. I guess I think it was about his show that night, and he was like, "Are you coming? Whatever, blah blah blah." And I walk up to him. I still ask my question, but I first go, "You can work at Disney and be a drag queen." Because at this time, if you guys don't know, this is a huge part of the book that I'm writing, which is something that I was going to announce today on just on my podcast. It's a little low key right now, but it's coming out. It's been in the works for a pretty long time, but I am really proud of it. Um, but the big part of it is that I was at that time too, as well, Republican, conservative, Christian, and all of that. I was trying to figure out if there was another one. Not that anybody should be labeled, I guess, technically, but anyways, you get the point. I went from Republican, conservative Christian to now liberal. Oh my God, liberal Democratic, and like still believe in God, but not like the religion. You know what I mean? I I called myself spiritual to somebody once because they asked the question, and he was like, "So you believe in just something?" And I was like, "Well, no, I believe in God." And he was like, "That's not really spiritual." And I was like, "I don't really know. I haven't really gone in depth yet." But anywho, that all being said, so I didn't realize you could work because of my political or my just my views in general. I was like, that seems a little like, code of conduct wise, like I don't know, some stupid thing where it was like, you can be a drag queen and work at Disney World at the same time. What? And we just like laughed. He like laughed and I laughed with him. I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, yeah, you can. And then I asked my question. So, anyways, that being said, the reason I told that little story is, like I said, it's technically his drag name is Ryder Knightley because he created it, but I'm just trying not to like misgender. I don't want anybody to think otherwise. I know that when you're talking about drag queens, and everybody has their own pronouns too, but typically drag queens are her, uh, she, her. But when you're talking about the person, again, everyone has different pronouns, but like for him, he's a he, him. And then when he's in drag, it's a she, her. So it's just like, but he created the character. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to misgender. Anyways, go moving on. He has a bunch of fans that he promotes for, I guess, his company and whatnot. He himself has a specific Ryder Knightley fan. And I've been wanting to get a fan so bad ever since he pulled it out during the parade once. I was like, need 1,000% need. And I'm mad that I didn't buy one earlier when I worked the parade because, girl, those parade routes hot as fuck. It was insane. You're in a 3-piece, sometimes 4-piece suit, depending on if you want to bring your jacket, which typically you don't want to bring your jacket on the parade route, but you're in a 3-piece suit doing strenuous work, putting up ropes, poles, walking around, sometimes pacing, sometimes running. I was just talking about this incident where a guy passed out on the parade route and I ran. It was, a packed, hot summer day. And I could tell more of those stories. But the moral of that story, I am going to get to love languages, I promise, is that I finally bought fans. I bought two. I bought the Ryder Knightley one. He had an older one, um, but he's recently switched it out to the newer Ryder Knightley one. And it's not only incredible, and I love the story behind it because he's the first ever drag queen I met. He's the first ever drag queen I saw perform in his drag show, and that was exciting. That was the first ever gay bar I stepped into as well. I was 18 at the time. And it was an experience. That picture that I have, I look like I'm dying. Like I look like I'm sweating. It was like late at night. And I think I had school the next day, college, of course. And it was weird, the picture at least. But so I bought his fan because it's also blacklight resistant. So if I ever do go back into a gay club, a lot of gay clubs, if not all of them, I guess. I don't know. Actually, no, like the gay clubs that do the brunches, I guess. I don't know. A lot of gay clubs are dark. So it'll show up in blacklight, which is so cool. It's like pink and blue, and I'm really excited to like see what it is. especially because at night here in my apartment too, um, which is kind of hot right now. I don't know why it's so hot, but uh, it also gets dark. So I'm just excited to try it and whatnot. And they're huge, by the way. Like we're not talking small like Disney fans, the Disney ones sell that are like super cheap. These are like thick, well made, huge, like such a huge, like I guess quote unquote wingspan. Um, and I'm excited. So I got that one. And what was the other one I got? I think it was Bitch I'm Fabulous. I was on his live yesterday. I'm sorry, I was on her live yesterday. And she was like, what does um it remind me of? And I was like, or what does which fan reminds me of you? And I was like, oh my God, yes, please pick me one. And so there's one that says, bitch, I'm fabulous. And he was like, this one, 1,000%. He was like, sorry. Oh my goodness. I apologize. I'm really trying not to misgender. This is so bad of me. I'm always trying to learn and educate and make sure. Anyways, I'm gonna stop trying to defend myself. But um she uh she was like, it reminds me of you. And I literally was like, yes, that like 1,000%, like especially at Disney, I was that bitch, like 1,000%. I was 100% that bitch. um I was like, this is great. I was like, yes, please pick me out one. And she picked out an incredible one. And so I'm very excited. And it's also getting, so it snowed the other day for a minute, but it is getting hotter for sure. And again, it is hot as hell in my apartment right now. So I'm dying. I don't know what's going on. But there's that. So a lot's been going on this week. I've been doing my laundry, my dishes. I wasn't gonna go through all of that list, but yeah, I've been doing all of my chores. I went back to the gym starting on Monday because my gym was under renovation, and now we're back. Um, so that makes me really happy. Yeah, so let's just get into it. So love languages. This looks horrible. Why am I doing that? Love languages. I love the idea of love languages. There are so many things that people, you know, uh associate with sometimes. You have your astrology sign, you have your, we're gonna get to this, I promise, in another episode. The sex one is coming. But we have our BDSM test. We have what other things? You have, I guess, your, you have your Myers-Briggs test. Mine is, I think, EN. Oh, I forgot. It's on my phone too. ENFJ or something, I believe. And then you have your, your types, type A, type B. And then your Enneagram. I don't know if people associate with their Enneagram. I don't know much about Enneagrams. And honestly, every time I hear Enneagram, all I think is people's initials on things, which I'm dying to get my initials on a towel. Um, so that's all I can. I think those are two different words though. I think one is an anagram, but that also sounds like something you get at the hospital. So I have no idea, but people associate with whatever the anagram thing is too. Um, and then people associate with their love language. And I love love languages. I love love in general. We've been over this plenty of times, I think, in this podcast, but you guys know that I love love. I am open to love. I like that. I'm open to love. I'm not actively searching for love. People are like, don't look. If you don't look, it'll come to you. I'm currently not looking. I'm actually 2 months. I'm working on myself. I am also, oh, that was my other thing on the list. I'm doing no fast food for May. And I am 2 months into being, um, what is the word? Uh, I stopped having sex. Abstinent. I've been abstinent from sex for 2 months. Um, so that's been a really nice self journey. I've really not talked to anyone in that time too. Like I've been around maybe one person, two people. That's it. In 1-2 days where it was like a maybe hour and a half, 2 hour period. So I really haven't seen anyone. I've barely really talked to anyone. It's been my own little quarantine. I call it this now because I got tested yesterday for my quarterly STD checkup. And the doctor was like, I was telling her about, being abstinent for 2 months. And she was like, I was like, yeah, I haven't really seen anyone either. And she was like, I was like, I don't know what to call it. I've been calling it my quarantine. She's like, it's your little self retreat. And I was like, love that. I was like, I'm gonna start doing things that you would do in a self retreat. Like, I'm gonna get myself some, like, I've already been doing it, watching movies and things like that. And I feel like I need like a theme song, like where I wake up every morning to something, and like, like, okay, we're going to the lake today, like some sort of like summer retreat, but it's like my little self retreat. I guess I am doing stuff like that. I'm working out, I'm stretching, I'm singing and learning new abilities and things like that. I'm writing a book. I guess that's really the writer's self retreat right there. So I've been doing that as well. I love love, and love is really special to me. I'm not actively searching for it, but I'm open to love. For a little while, I also don't have the dating apps or Grindr or whatever, but I'm open to love. We're going to start this podcast as if I haven't already been talking for 15 minutes. I want you guys to all do this with me. Just like we did those quizzes in that one episode, I'm actually going to pull up. I already have it pulled up, and I'm going to talk about it. I've done it before. We're going to take the love language test. I've done it before. The 5 are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. My number one, always quality time. It always comes above everything else. I haven't done this test in a while. It's been like a year and a half, 2 years. This was before quarantine. I did it. I actually did this test. I did this test and the BDSM test at this buffet breakfast restaurant on Disney property with a bunch of CPs. It was the time. It was really fun. But my number one's quality time, and it's typically tied with physical touch. Or not tied, but like really close, because they do it by points. So we are going to take this quiz, and I want you guys to do it with me. I think it's really important to know your love language. And I know when it comes to some things about like astrology, people are skeptical about, or some people associate like with manifestation too, not as their whole, like technically we all manifest without even knowing it, but some people associate with that, but like some people are skeptical of manifestation. But love languages is something you really can't stray away from. Like, it's not, you can't be skeptical, you can't really be skeptical of love languages. And the quiz just helps you figure out what brings you out more. And the questions are really, really well done to make sure that you know what it is. So there is a teens and a children's quiz. I'm not either of them. There's also a couples quiz, which I think is really interesting. I've never taken it, obviously, but whenever I'm in a relationship, I'm really interested in taking it to understand what those differentiate as. So if you just type in five love languages quiz, it comes up. I think it's just 5lovelanguages.com. Like, there's like an official website for it and whatnot. And they're very inclusive. I'll just kind of explain to you guys what's going on at the same time, just like I did those quizzes before. So I first ask you your gender. It's male, female, or prefer not to say. And then there's an age group, so I'm going to pick 18 to 24. If anybody doesn't know, I'm 18. Oh my goodness, I'm 20 years old. It's asking if I've read the book. I've not. And then it comes up with the questions, and it has a bar down below. It tells you what percentage of the quiz you've done. So we're just going to get right into it. So the first question says, it's more meaningful to me when, and these are just two question answers. So it's more meaningful to me when someone I love sends me a loving note, text, email for no special reason, or I hug someone I love. I like surprises, and I like the unexpected, and I like when things come when they're not supposed to. For example, people in relationships sometimes forget that there's 365 days of the week, or 365 days of the year, and they buy flowers for Valentine's Day and forget that there are 364 other days where you could have done that as well. And it probably would have meant more because it wasn't on a day you were supposed to, quote unquote, do something. So I like when things are unexpected, so I'm going to go with the note, the text, the email for no special reason. It's more meaningful to me when I can spend alone time with someone I love, just us, or someone I love does something practical to help me out. Um, ooh. See, some of these are really hard for me. I really like it when I'm alone with just somebody and we're just talking and just relaxing and just doing fun things. But I also love when I'm stressed and someone's like, "Can I help you out?" Which quite honestly hasn't really ever happened. Doesn't happen out much whenever, I was just talking to Irina about this. I said, I'm really the therapist of the group, and we were both talking. It's funny because our relationship works so well. We've been in a couple, like maybe one or two or three fights that have ended very fast because we are able to talk it out like adults. Um, but the reason it works so well is both of us are the therapists of the group. And so when both of us are together, we feed off each other's energy, are able to help other people out. And it helps that I'm an empath. And so even if Irina and I were in a fight, the empath doesn't really work on, like, for me, the empath doesn't really work on her for me because I can feel her energy and I can feel it negatively, but I know that we can just talk it out like that. And then our energies go back and connect with each other and are able to help people in a bigger way and are able to talk about things with each other and are able to solve each other's problems. And we're basically on the same page. We're not each other's, I wouldn't say we're each other's yes men. We can be each other's hype men, but it's not always yes. There are some things in life, you don't want a yes man. We talked about this in another episode. You don't really want a yes man in your life. One, maybe, if you have like a bunch, like a couple of other friends and you have like one yes man in the group, you don't want to hear yes all the time. Sometimes the answer is not yes. Sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes the answer is hell no. Um, but so I'm having a really hard, it's more meaningful to me when I can spend alone time with someone I love, just as someone I love does something practical to help me out. I'm gonna go with the practical to help me out. No, I'm gonna go. I can spend alone time with someone I love, just us, and I'll tell you why. I think it's important, that question just, not that it's added, but when I hear someone I love does something practical to help me out, I hear I'm doing something that I want help with, but I'm working and like I don't really want to, I want to, like, if my partner wants to help me while I'm working, great, love that. But when it's I can spend alone time with someone I love, just us, when it says just us, I think of just us, like me and that other person physically, as well as no phones, no TV, or that thing. Like it's just literally us. So I'm gonna go with that. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love gives me a little gift as a token of our love or concern for each other. I get to spend uninterrupted leisure time with those I love. Oh, I guess that other question. Oh, I can go back, but I'm not going to go back. Um, I like uninterrupted leisure time with those I love. I grew up. I like doing love languages as an episode. It's important to me. If it's not important to you, that's okay. But it's important to me, and you can kind of hear where my thoughts are at. But it also explains a lot about my life and where I'm at, and the things that I think about. It's not just oh god, I just spilled coffee on my white shirt. Love that. It's not just about love languages for me. It's like a weird free therapy where you get to like learn how your mind has changed and whatnot. Like if you do this once a year, which is probably what I'll start doing, or even more, like once a quarter or once every 6 months, like it's really important. So for example, if I go back, I got to spend uninterrupted leisure time with those I love. Why is that more important than a token of love from somebody? I'll tell you why. A gift is something I've always been given. Uninterrupted leisure time. When I grew up, my family always was watching TV. Even if I asked to play a game in the most recent years, we would play a game. My dad would still stay on the couch and just forget that we existed. And I got in a fight with him. It's in my Severino Snakes episodes. But when I did that series, there's a clip where I'm yelling at my dad because I wanted to play music while we were playing cards. Well, my dad, forgot that we existed and decided that instead of me being able to play music to enjoy the time that we were having leisurely, uninterrupted, no phones, he was going to watch TV, and it really made me upset. So I didn't get a lot of times where things were uninterrupted by, hey, I have to work. Hey, I have this thing. I can't do this. I'm too tired. I have to work early. Like there were too many of those times. If someone's too early or has to work early, sure, great excuse. Again, you don't have to do it every day, but I'm asking for a little bit of time. So that's where that comes from. So, excuse me. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love does something unexpected for me to help me with the project, or I can share an innocent touch with someone I love. Um, Someone I love does something to help me with the project. I'm such a, see, again, I want to hit unexpected for me to help with the project, but I kind of am a little bit of a control freak. I kind of want to do the things I want to do, and I don't know if that person I love is gonna fuck it up. I trust in them for sure. And I've never been in a relationship, so I couldn't tell you. I guess it all depends on the person. Um, and this isn't, I guess, happen to, I mean, it definitely could be family, but we're really talking about relationships here. Um, Actually, we're not. I mean, we're talking about friendships and we're talking about relationships as well as family. So we're talking about all three things, but I think I'd much rather share innocent touch with someone I love. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love put their arms around me in public or someone I love surprises me with a gift. I'm going, oh, I love physical touch and I love um people who aren't afraid, I mean, obviously it's still scary sometimes out there when you're in a gay relationship and you fear that someone might scream an explicitive or call you something or I don't know, hit you. It can go from mild to extreme, but I love that too. These are really hard, you guys. This is harder than the first time I ever took it because now I'm out and proud. Someone I love surprises me with a gift. Okay, no, I'm gonna go with the arm. I'm gonna go with the arm. Okay. It's more meaningful to me when I'm around someone I love, even if we're not really doing anything. I can be comfortable holding hands, high fiving, or putting my arm around someone I love. I'm gonna go with comfortable holding hands, high fiving, or putting our arm. That was easy. It's more meaningful to me when I receive a gift from someone I love. I hear from someone I love that they love me. I love reassurance. We're going with someone I love that they love me. It's more meaningful to me when I sit close to someone I love. I'm complimented by someone I love for no apparent reason. Again, the reassurance is nice. I'm thinking about the booth thing. I just saw a TikTok that was like something you hate that has no effect on you, and he's also gay, but he was talking about when two people sit on the same side of the booth. That's what I love. I love when people sit on the same side of the booth. It was like it irks me that someone's not on the other side. But for me, like that's so cute. Granted, like I would switch it up because I want to be on the other side and I want to play footsies. But I also would love to be on the same side of the booth first with somebody. So I do love that, but I'm gonna go with the reassurance and say I would rather be complimented by someone I love for no apparent reason. It's more meaningful to me when I get the chance to just quote unquote hang out with someone I love. I don't understand. Is that trying to say sex? Like, what's going on? Why is it in quotes? I get the chance to just quote unquote hang out with someone I love, or unexpectedly get small gifts from somebody I love. Well, we're just gonna go with just hang out. I don't know if the hangout is supposed to mean sex. I don't think it is, but gifts are just like I love gifts so fucking much. So I don't know why I just gravitates towards the other option when it presents itself as a gift because I just love spending time with people so fucking much. That means the most. Want to know why? The biggest gift you can give is your time. Gifts last forever. You don't. So when people give you their time, it is literally the most meaningful thing you can give someone. It's more meaningful to me when I hear someone I love tell me I'm proud of you, or someone I love helps me with a task. I'm proud of you. If I heard that more growing up, who knows? It's more meaningful to me when I get to do things with someone I love. I hear supportive words from someone I love. I'm going with I get to do things with someone I love. I'm adventurous. I want to do things. I don't just want to sit around at home. I don't want to just sit around hearing you talking. I love hearing people talking. I love when people talk. I love communication. I love supportive words. But if you're only going to spit supportive words while we're both watching TV, I'm not dealing with it. We got to go do things. So I'm going to say we are going to go do some things with people I love. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love does things for me instead of just talking about doing nice things, or I feel connected to someone I love through a hug. I'm going to say someone I love does things for me instead of just talking about doing nice things. There are times, it's funny because the two phrases do float around, and there are times when both are appropriate. Sometimes actions speak louder than words. Sometimes words do speak louder than actions. Um, so in that case, actions definitely speak louder than words. It's more meaningful to me when I hear praise from someone I love, or someone I love gives me something that shows they were really thinking about me. I'm going to go with the gifts one this time. Someone I love gives me something that shows they were really thinking about me. By the way, I don't know if it's an actual gift one. It doesn't say specifically like which of the five it's presenting the question as, but obviously you can kind of tell. So I'm going to go with someone I love gives me something. It's more meaningful to me when I'm able to just be around someone I love, or I get a back rub from someone I love. I'm able to be somewhere. Listen, if I got a back rub from someone, I'm dying. I'm deceased. I'm dead. I'm gonna be so happy. I'll be so excited. Give me a back rub any day. I'm able to just be around someone I love. I mean, I want to be around them, but if they're giving me a back rub, like that's a plus. You know what I mean? I feel like you're still around the person you love when you're getting a back rub. I would say like I'm able to just be around someone I love. It could be with friends, but I get a back rub from someone I love is probably going to be like more intimate, like I don't know, like just you two. I'm gonna go with I get a back rub from someone I love. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love reacts positively to something I've accomplished, or someone I love does something for me that I know they don't particularly enjoy. Ooh. Uh, someone I love reacts positively to something I've accomplished. I mean, for sure, the reassurance, the positive affirmation, knowing I did something, knowing it makes me proud, but it also makes them proud, or seeing someone do something that they don't particularly like, but they do it anyway because they love me. Um, I'm gonna go with someone I love reacts positively to something I've accomplished. I don't think it's fake. I just also don't. It would be cute. It would be sexy. It would be hot. I would enjoy it for sure if someone I love did something that they weren't particularly in love with. But I don't want them constantly doing it. I don't want them always doing it. I don't want to put them in that situation that they're gonna feel uncomfortable either. Like, you know, if they don't like kayaking, I'll make them go kayaking once with me. And if they don't like it, they don't fucking like it. I'm not making you go kayaking with me again. By the way, I've been kayaking maybe twice, 3 times max. So I don't know why that's the one that came to my mind, but that's the one that came to my mind. It's more okay. So we're 50% done. Like I said before, I just like as we're midway through, last time I got this quality time and like physical touch were definitely the top. Gifts was last, and then the other two were right above gifts and right below the other two. I know the two were tied for second and third. I think it was words of affirmation and physical touch were tied at the same score, but we're gonna see. But I'm really interested to see where I'm at now, just because I think differently. Especially like I said again, that I'm out and proud now. The last time I took this, I was still A, bisexual, and B, only out to like 2 family members, 3 family members, and anybody else who like asked who was like a friend that I knew they would never meet my parents and never put it out on social media and shit. So uh so it's interesting now to see where my head's at, which is again why it's important to take this test yourself and really learn about yourself. And we're gonna after the quiz we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna do another little test that I or another little project that I want to do with you guys and talk more about why we're doing this. And it's also a part This quiz, if you haven't seen the communication podcast, again, go do it. This quiz is about communicating with yourself. You hear myself, like, obviously, I'm talking because it's a podcast. I'm talking to you guys and I'm communicating with you guys. However, I'm talking to you guys. This one's a podcast about talking to you guys, talking to me. Um, so I'm just talking it out in my head, and it's important for me. I think it's important for you to go, like I said, and do this quiz on your own. But I'm really like explaining this to myself and eye-opening myself. And sometimes you obviously have to really talk it out. And I'm really enjoying what we're doing right here. So let's get this quiz done and then we'll talk about it more. It's more meaningful to me when I'm able to be in close physical proximity to someone I love. I love how some of these questions are literally just reworded a million times. Or I sent, excuse me, or I sent someone I love showing interest in the things I care about. Um, Physical. I'm gonna go with love showing interest in the things I care about. Why? One of these is physical and the other one is emotional. And again, I think physical is so important. Quality time is the most important. Um, I think quality time and physical touch are the two that are up to bat right now. And one is definitely, obviously, it's in the name, it's physical. The other one is quality time is obviously physical as well. Like they're there with you in any capacity, I guess. I mean, even if it's FaceTime, I guess technically it's not physical, but it's a lot more emotional when it's quality time. So I'm going to go with sense that the person that I love is interested in the things I'm interested in. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love works on special projects with me that I have to complete, or someone I love gives me an exciting gift. You know what? That's the time again. I'm gonna go with special projects this time. I like when it says someone I love works on special projects with me. That's when I know that I can stop being a control freak because I'll be there and they'll be doing it with me. They'll be side to side with me and it'll get done. It's more meaningful to me when I'm complimented by someone I love on my appearance, period, or someone I love takes the time to listen to me and really understand my feelings. Oh, shit. Okay, again, I love both, but one is more minuscule, and the other one is a lot higher holding in my heart. So I'm gonna go with someone I love takes the time to listen to me and really understand my feelings. I was on the phone with my aunt the other day. Feelings are so important. Listening is the most important. Just like quality time is the most time is the most important thing you can give to someone. If that time is just you talking to somebody, you ain't bonding with them. You're not coming together with them. You're not building each other's energies. You're not helping each other out. You are just speaking. You need to be listening for it to be a two-way communication is two-way street that requires balance of listening and speaking and not and when we say listening, we don't mean listening to respond. You're not listening to respond. The reason I interrupt sometimes is because I'm so excited to get the next thought out. That's okay. But I know that it's not to respond, it's to engage and continue the conversation. And obviously, like I said, don't always interrupt. However, and don't do it in like specific situations, but try to listen, not listen to respond. And that's a huge if we'll just listen to each other a little bit more, there'd be a lot less hate. If we also just stop listening to respond, there'd be a lot less hate. When a Republican is speaking to a Democrat and a Democrat's listening to a Republican, that is the prime example of them listening just to respond. They want the next thing. They want to be quick. And the issue is when they want to be quick and they just want to respond, you don't think your thoughts through. And even though you are thinking sort of, you're not thinking before you act. Um, so that's a time like those are special times where you need to be not only thinking before you act, but just listening to listen. Sure, you may know what they're going to say about pro-choice versus pro-life, but you have to listen to that specific person's probably not talked to you before. Listen to what they have to say. Add on to your knowledge of whatnot. Add on to different arguments that different people with different education and ethnic and cultural backgrounds are going to say. you can become a better person and you can be more firm in your stand if you listen to that rather than just listening to respond. And then, of course, once they stop, then you can either, you can collect your thoughts and you can move on to a different topic. You can respectfully walk away from that. Um, and you can also thank them for their time, tell them that the knowledge that they've brought you is going to help them, and then move on. Like, there's an easy way to respect them. Anyways, that's just a prime example of, we need to listen more as a society. We need to listen more than listen to respond as a society as well. There's two steps there. It's more meaningful to me when I can share a meaningful touch in public with someone I love. Ow. Or someone I love offers to run errands for me. Bitch. Listen, I want to be touched. Touch me. I want to get dirty. Or I just love when, girl, go get me some coffee. Go get me some Chick-fil-A. Because I feel like, again, I've never been in a relationship, but ain't nobody out here doing that shit for me. No one is doing that shit for me. And I am excited to take this quiz when I am in a relationship. And I want to take the couples one, but I think in a relationship, I'd love to take the singles one again to like figure out what has changed again. I'm going with someone I love offers to run errands for me. I love that. Especially if I actually get to see them run. Girl, run, Forrest, run. But we're gonna go with that because that would make my heart really happy. Like, especially if I'm working on a project and they're like, "Can I go get us lunch?" Bitch, kiss me, make out with me, and then leave. Because yes, my heart will sing, bitch. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love does something special for me to help me out, or I get a gift that someone I love put thought into choosing. Someone I love does something special for me to help me out. Oh God. Again, it's sort of the errands versus the gift. And this question holds a special place in my heart because when I get a gift that someone I love put thought into choosing, I also hear obviously the emotion behind it, but they could have made the gift. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that gift is, but someone I love do something special for me to help me out. It's also kind of like the errands question. So I'm gonna go with someone I love does something special for me to help me out. Um, yeah. Okay. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love doesn't check their phone while we're talking with each other. Period. I don't even need to look at the other one. Or someone I love goes out of their way to do something that relieves pressure on me. That feels incredible, but listen, quality time, listening to listen, not listening to respond. And obviously, what is it called? Active listening. Oh, girl, if they're on their phone, throw them out. Throw them out. We do not speak to other people when we are checking our phone. No, ma'am. I will wait. I will wait. And I probably will kick you out. I'm not doing that shit. If you're at dinner, especially like first dates, I'm sorry, if as long as you're being safe and you've contacted someone prior, and obviously you still bring your phone along if they're a creep, or a catfish or whatever, when you get there, or a predator or whatever, you have your phone on you for sure. There's no need for you to bring your phone out otherwise. Like, if it's not a special circumstance or you're not having a good time, including not having a good time, if they're not, scary or trying to do something to you and you're just not feeling it, tell them that. Walk away. You're good. Just don't use your phone. Don't be the disrespectful one. You know what I mean? Um, Someone I love doesn't check their phone while we're talking with each other. That's what I'm going to go with. Okay. It's more meaningful to me when I can look forward to a holiday because I'll probably get a gift from someone I love. That makes no sense. Or I hear the words, "I appreciate you" from someone I love. I'm going to go with "I appreciate you." The other one's just, I'm no offense to this quiz. That one's a dumb. I don't expect things from people. That's what I hear from that question is, "Oh, I'm expecting a gift because we're going on holiday." What the fuck? What? Um, what a weird. I mean, like, for sure, I'd probably be the one that ended up doing it, but like, don't expect it. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love and haven't seen in a while thinks enough of me to give me a little gift, or someone I love takes care of something I'm responsible to do, but I feel too stressed to do at the time. Oh, girl, the second one. Um, yeah, if it's minor and I don't have to like freak out about it, like if someone does like my dishes while I'm, and I need to do the dishes because I have no dishes left and I'm working on a project, but I also have to cook dinner that night and don't have any dishes and I'm going to be stressed. Heck yeah. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love doesn't interrupt me while I'm talking, where gift giving is an important part of the relationship with someone I love. Oh, see, someone I love doesn't interrupt. Again, it depends on the situation. If they are interrupting because they want to further the conversation, they have something to say, and a lot of us can be forgetful people, so they want to like. And the thing is, like, if you don't let them get that thought out, guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna forget the thought, and they're not gonna be able to add on to the conversation after. So I'm gonna go with the gift. I'm gonna go with the gift giving part. I don't think it's like super important. I mean, definitely, like if I'm married and they're not getting me a gift for the holidays that are important, girl, what are you doing? Um, so like that's important. But someone I love doesn't interrupt me while I'm talking. If they're interrupting, it's also flattering to me. If it's the right reasons and and it's respectful, I'm here for it. If it's constant, definitely not. But for this sake, I'm going with gift giving. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love helps me out when they know I'm already tired, or I get to go somewhere while spending time with someone I love. If I'm tired, can we go get food after? That's killing two birds, one stone in this question. Um, See, I kind of already answered that question before, and I said going out, adventurous and things. I get to go somewhere while spending time with someone I love. I'm gonna go with someone I love helps out when they know I'm already tired. I like that. I like that a lot. That means a lot to me. It's more meaningful to me when, especially if someone helps me out when I'm already tired, it makes me want to work more. Like it makes me, again, not that I've ever been in these situations before, but I can feel it. You know what I mean? It would feel incredible. It would boost my serotonin. It would give me my second win that I need to, and they would be helping me. So it's more meaningful to me when someone I love touches my arm or shoulder to show their care or concern, or someone I love gives me a little gift that they picked up in the course of their normal day. See, again, the random surprises that come up. Um, I'm gonna go with the gift this time. Someone I love gives me a little gift that they picked up in the course of their normal day. I love that. If they're picking up me flowers on a random goddamn Tuesday, pick me up flowers on a random goddamn Tuesday. We are going to celebrate. Okay. Life is worth celebrating. Life is worth celebrating every day. You need to remember that every time you get up. Every day is a blessed day. You can find the good in every fucking day. You are going to have a good ass day. You have to tell these things to yourself. And if someone brings you fucking flowers on a fucking Tuesday, just because it's random does not mean it's not for a special occasion. It's because you are living your life and you're doing is the best you fucking can. Okay. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love says something encouraging to me, or I get to spend time in a shared activity or hobby with someone I love. I'm going to say spend time in a shared activity or hobby with someone I love. I love that. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love surprises me with a small token of their appreciation, or I'm touching someone. Oh God, I'm touching someone I love frequently to express our friendship. Consent is important. Um, what is a small token of their appreciation? I would assume that's probably a gift. I'm gonna go with the touching someone I love frequent to express our friendship. I love when people touch me, but like obviously consent's important. But like, when you're like good friends and you're like laughing and you like touch their, some people don't like that. I get it. And if you express to me that you don't want to be touched, I won't touch you. But like, they're like, oh my God, like you're so funny. And like you pat their arm or pat their back or something weird or, whatever. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love helps me out, especially if I know they're already busy, or I hear someone I love tell me that they appreciate me. I'm going to go with someone I love helps me out, especially if I know they're already busy. That's hot. If I know you're busy and you're coming to help me, I'm going to die. And then I'm going to help you. Whatever you're busy with, like it will be exchanged. All of these things will be exchanged. And like, I think it's important again, when you're in a relationship, this singles quiz, this like the one that I'm taking right now, is important to tell your partner before you get into the relationship. And then once you're in it, you can take the couples quiz, but like you don't lose your individuality. These are still the things that you love to do. So like you can share with each other and then you guys can make each other happy. Again, communication is key. We're almost done. I think this might be the last question or second to last. It's more meaningful to me when I get a hug from someone whom I haven't seen in a while. You guys, I don't choose the hug ones. I haven't been hugged. I don't get hugs. I think I need to be hugged more, y'all. Or I hear someone I love tell me how much I mean to him or her. I'm gonna go with I hear someone I love tell me how much I mean to him or her. Okay, that's the end of the quiz. Period. Oh my god. Wow. Wait, you guys, I'm actually kind of shocked. Okay, I got the results. I'm gonna take a picture of them because again, it's very important to me to know these things. And even if it's not percentages, I don't think people give a fuck about like I'm 27% quality time. I think what's more important is being quality time is my number one, like in terms of ranking, not percentages. Um imagine someone's tracking and they're like, okay, I've given you 15% of gifts this week. Onto the 17% of physical touch, like that, whatever. So my number one is quality time at 27%. My number two is tied words of affirmation and acts of service, which is 23%. Physical touch is 17%. Don't get that twisted, y'all. I love physical touch. I love being hugged. I love being touched. I love when someone touches my inner thigh, my knee, my shoulder, puts their arm around me, touches my hand, or like brushes their hand on any part of my body, basically. So don't get twisted. And my last and final is 10% receiving gifts. Not too shocking, but the tide for words of affirmation, I thought it would have been physical touch. You know what I mean? I'll just read the little thing. In quality time, nothing says I love you like full undivided attention. Period, queen. Being there for this type of person is critical, but really being there with the TV off, fork and knife down, and all chores and tasks on standby makes you feel truly special and loved. That's what I love about this. Distractions, postpone activities, or the failure to listen can be especially hurtful. Whether it's spending uninterrupted time talking with someone else or doing activities together, you deepen your connection with others through sharing time. And that's what I mean. Like, that's so important to know because it's so accurate, and it says nothing about like, oh, you're a Cancer, you love undivided attention. Like, no, shut up. Like, this is important to me. These are the things that are important to me. Like, that speaks to me wholeheartedly. And I love that. I'm excited that we did that together. Please, again, fivelovelanguages.com. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't know if they sponsor people, but girl, if you sponsor people, here we are. We're doing your test on my podcast. I'm telling other people to do it because it's más importante. So it would mean the world if you sponsored me. Sponsor me. I'm glad we did that. Love languages are important, like I said a million fucking times already. But it's just because they are, and I'm not gonna stop talking about how important they are because it's important to know. It's important to know about yourself. It's important to talk through those questions out loud with yourself. I mean, you can talk about it internally as well. That's cool. I just like talking it out because when I talk it out, it gets, again, I kind of have to because podcast, but it also helps a lot. I talked it out. I talked out the reasoning with myself. And I was like, these are the reasons that I think this. Here are some of my past stories that led me to this conclusion. Here are even some things that I might want to fix because of those past things that I maybe did answer that question because a certain way, or opposite. I didn't answer the question that way because of the things that happened. Um, like the hug ones, I didn't choose that because I was barely hugged. I feel like I was barely hugged as a person, as a child, and I have not had a special connection to hugs, so I didn't choose those because of that reason. And maybe I wish I did because I wish I had more hugs. That will blow your mind, going through that quiz and being like even that just blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, I didn't get hugged as a child. I didn't answer these questions for the hugging because I wasn't hugged as a child. Like, that's crazy. I was, what's the lack of I don't know, physical touch, lack of hugs as a kid. And so it's just crazy to think about and crazy to just to endure. So go do it. It's important, and it's gonna help you whether you think so or not. If you talk it out the appropriate, ow, I just hit my arm on the counter. Uh the appropriate way. Don't just like breeze through the questions. That's why it took us a little bit longer, because I wanted to talk through and I wanted to show you how these quizzes can be important and how we should do them. I probably will end up taking that BDSM test on the sex one again. I've taken it. The recent one was almost a year ago today, in like 2 or 3 months. So it was like 10 months ago. I took it, but I might want to take it again. Who knows? I think I've learned a little bit more about sex and sexual activities and how to talk about it and things like that. So I'd love to take it again with you guys on camera. We're gonna do something fun that now that I've been wanting to do with you guys. So if you guys heard last week's podcast, we did a test from Whitney Cummings' book, where you talk about the wants in a relationship, like the non-negotiables. You have to have it. There's no cutting this out. Um, you have the would be nices, where it's not non-negotiable. It just would be nice if they had it. If they don't, that's okay, as long as the non-negotiables are there. And then of course you have your red flags, a couple that we talked about being rude to customer service, toxic masculinity, bad hygiene, um, disheartened friends that don't care. Another red flag, there are so many other red flags. We could do a whole episode on red flags, which might be fun. We're actually doing a special soon on my podcast with Tinder profiles. I'm trying to get it set up as much as possible. And we're going to be talking about red flags on profiles. So we'll probably get more in depth under red flags on that episode as well. But, even the weird ones, some people think that this might be okay, but it's not. Both of you guys have a set of friends. The guy, and I had an ex-best friend that I went through with this, the guy wouldn't let her see his friends. That's not okay. That's shady and sketchy, and you need to be meeting these people's friends. Not right away, that's for sure. Couple dates in, 5 dates, and you're like almost positive like you still want to go on dates with somebody. Do a friend date, have fun, vibe with their friends. And I think it's important before the let's go exclusive conversation, because people's friends also, again, huge indicator about who that person is and who they surround themselves with. So definitely important. So like those interesting red flags that you may or may not think about. But today we're going to do another test, and this one's kind of just fun. And we're just going to write. You're going to take a piece of paper. What do I want to call this? I'm just going to call it, just because I wrote the letter A already. I'm just gonna call it a manifested man, because the writer in me is being creative apparently. So basically what you do, take a piece of paper, whoever you are, whoever you enjoy in your life, whoever you like, you're gonna take a piece of paper, you can take a pen, pencil, whatever, and you're gonna write down what you want in a partner. And it's basically your type, I would say. Uh, but yeah, it's basically your type, and it's a manifestation thing. And you can write it down on your phone, you can write it down on a piece of paper. Like I said, I guess I said you had to have a piece of paper. You can write it down on your phone, that's okay, as long as you have the intent, and as long as the intent is going on the piece of paper and it's coming out into reality. That's what's important. As long as you believe what you're writing, and you believe that it's gonna come true, and that this is the person that's gonna come into your life, um, then then you're set. You have to believe the things that you are saying to yourself. You have to believe the things that you're reading about yourself. The reason I said, everything, you have to believe everything that you're saying to yourself. The thing that I'm not saying is believe the lies that you tell about yourself, or the lies other people tell you. Example, again, I was talking about Aunt, and I was talking about affirmations. She said a great affirmation to do: take the lies you tell about yourself and say the opposite. Big one. I sometimes still to this day in my head, occasionally I'll say I'm fat. That's a lie I tell myself. I am not fat. Um, you have to take that, take it out, bring something in. So I am a skinny legend. I am, I'm just giving you examples. I am a curvy queen. I am, I am gorgeous the way God made me. Stuff like that, life changers. You have to take out the negative and replace it with a positive. You can just take out the negative. You know what's going to be left? A, empty thoughts, or B, the negative's just going to come shooting right back at you. Because there's a lot more negative coming through our brain sometimes than there are positive, especially if we're in a dark place. You have to keep it circulating. So, anyways, we're going to talk about manifested man. Again, it could be a woman, whatever. I just wrote manifested man. It's who I'm looking for. Because I'm gay. Um, so we're going to talk about it. What is my ideal man? And again, this may be my type, and I'm going to write it. I don't want to offend anyone here. None of what I'm about to say needs to be solid. It's about specifics. I'm about to get real specific. But if somebody that wasn't that person comes along, I'm not going to push them out. I'm open to love. Another affirmation I'm saying to myself, I'm open to love. I'm not actively searching, but I am open for love. So let's just start and we'll kind of go with it. So number one, which could be offensive to some people, again, I would prefer a taller man. And we're gonna get specific. So I'm gonna write prefer tall man. And then we're gonna get specific, over 6 foot. By the way, by law standard, not by their standard. I will measure your ass. Just kidding. But yeah, prefer tall man over 6 foot. Again, if somebody who is below my height comes along and I fall in love with them, I fall in love with them. That's who they are. I love their personality more. As long as obviously I'm sexually attracted to them, we're Gucci. Um, and that's also important. Sexual, uh, oh my goodness, what is the word? Sexual connection as well as emotional connection is as equally important, I would say, in relationships, just because you can't have one or the other and one can't tilt off the other. They match each other's energies, they balance off of each other, and once one goes 60-40, it's off balance. So prefer tall men over 6 foot. Blonde hair. You guys, I'm basic as fuck. I'm so sorry. Blonde hair, blue eyes. Um, I'm gonna say average to skinny to muscular build. Um, Again, none of these are just, you have to get specific with it. And if somebody who comes out of this doesn't look like this person and I fall in love with them, that's what happens. I am open to love. And I'm repeating that to you guys, so you could say it to yourself. But I'm also doing it right now as my affirmations. I'm repeating it to myself. I'm open to love. I'm not actively searching for it, but I'm open. So prefer tall men over 6 foot, blonde hair, blue eyes, average to skinny to muscular build, or even like really cool eyes. Or like one or the other, but I just blonde hair, blue eyes is what I put. Um, has a nice career. If I give me a doctor, give me a lawyer. Doctor would be really hard for me. You know what? I'm gonna write down some. Doctor's hard because I like quality time. We've already established that. That's why it's nice to do the quiz first before you start doing this, so you learn about yourself and what your type is emotionally. This one's just more physical stuff, but has a nice career. Lawyer, doctors, just they're always like a lot of them are always on call, so it's hard for me to be like, yeah. A lawyer. I don't even care if it's like social media And then I'm going to put in quotes influencer. If it's an influencer, that's great. If it's like social media manager, like they work for a company, that's cool. Um, let's see, lawyer, social media influencer. What are some other nice jobs that people have? I have no idea. Something in, oh God, no, I really don't want somebody in banking. If I could avoid that at all costs, that'd be fantastic. Lawyer, social media influencer, I don't know, stylist. Um, uh, God, all I can think about is jobs that I've wanted. I mean, even like real estate agent, which is what I am. That doesn't bother me. So those are just some specific jobs. There's just a couple I wrote down. Has a nice career. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? We've got the bill. We've got over 6 feet tall, blonde hair, blue eyes. Um, I don't want to. We already talked about the emotional stuff, so it's probably gonna be a pretty short list. But let's see, physical. I'm gonna say white teeth, just like pearly white. I guess no, white teeth, like pearly whites, a nice smile. You know how those people have those like 70s serial killer vibe smiles? Sorry to those people because I know they can't fix them really, but like I'll be your friend. I just don't want to date you. Like that's scary. Um, I get bad vibes, you know what I mean? So we've got the white teeth, nice smile. We talked about the eyes. Um, a good, this is so funny. A good head of hair. I love to brush my hand through people's hair. Again, if a bald person comes my way and they have everything else on this list, I'm not going to be offended if I fall in love with them. Okay. Um, good head of hair. And you just build it in your mind. You know, you see it, you want it, you got it, you know, manifestation. I think I'm going to leave it there. I think that's a good, honestly, thick thigh. I kind of want to rate thick thighs. I wrote average to skinny to muscular build. I kind of want to add thick thighs to that. I want a man to crush me, but like in a good way. Uh, yeah, thick thighs. And you know what? You want to get specific because has a nice career. I'm gonna write. Okay, I'm gonna write underneath. I'm gonna write stable income career because if I'm not specific enough, they're going to throw me a nice career and it's going to be a lawyer first year who's earning like $30,000. I don't really know how much lawyers make in their first year, but has a stable income career. And $30,000 isn't bad, but preferably more. So I'm going to write that you want to be specific. Otherwise, the universe, whatever you believe in, it is basically manifestation is from the universe. So the universe is gonna throw you somebody that you're like so close, but there's just that thing where it's like, this is what I asked for, but not specific enough. You know what I mean? So you got to be specific with it. Like you don't want to be, even white teeth, nice smile. Those go together, so that's specific enough. Good head of hair. I'm gonna write no bald patches. If they're bold, that's fine, but don't let it be halfway in between. You know what I mean? Nobody with a toupee either. Like we don't want craziness going on. Um, like if Simon from what is his? I don't know how to say his full Jean Page from Bridgerton comes along. Okay, sold. Like stable. Oh, actor, I guess, would have as a sort of nice stable career depending on what kind of actor. Like if John Page came along, then we good. Like he's got a stable career that makes him a lot of money and like a lot of the other things, it checks a lot of boxes. Good smile. He doesn't really have hair, I guess, necessarily, but like he's cute, you know what I mean? Like, and that's perfect. So and that's what I'm calling a manifested man. do what with it you will. I think it's very important that people do it. Um, this one's more physical. You can go back to that other list, which is some things physical, but some things emotional, or I should say like personality characteristic wise, traits wise, things like, again, in the wants or would be nice, you could put like ambitious or sense of humor. That's the specifics of those. And that's a power of manifestation as well. Um, but this is more the physical of what they're gonna look like. Which is why I included mostly physical, and then there's the like career stuff where it's kind of the in between. It's not, it's physical, but not at the same time. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. I know I did. I know it was a little bit chaotic in the beginning. We got there in the end, and I'm glad that we talked about love languages. Those are so important. And it's important to do, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're listening to them in order, first of all, I fucking love you. Second of all, it's important to do because we're about to talk about more stuff. We're going to backtrack a tiny bit because I know we talked about kind of the dating and the communication in the communications episode. And then we kind of went to first dates because we kind of thought we were done, even though we're going to start a series on Tinder profiles. I think we'll probably end up doing a couple, and we'll probably talk about the other stuff in between those episodes as well. But I kind of want to go back to Tinder profiles and talk about Bumble and any profile in general and talk about those. And then we're going to continue on to second dates, sex, and it's a continuation, but it's also not at the same time. And they don't have to go in that specific order. It could be sex and then first date. Some people have one night stands and then go on to marrying that person. You know what I mean? Like, so it could go in any order, but I'm trying to do it as cohesive as it possibly can. And the main theme of all is communication, because it is the most important thing, I believe, in any relationship, friendship, anything in the world. If you think about anything in the world and you're like, what could this use more of? Communication is always the answer. Politics, what could that be used more of? Communication. And there's, subtopics of communication include listening. You know what I mean? So like those are things you have to think about. I have so many books and things around me right now, but politics, communication, friendships, communication, relationships, communication. What are other, family, communication, jobs, communication. Just those are just some prime examples of what everything can use more communication, better listening skills. So that's the main theme that we're kind of going through right now, which I love talking about. Like I said, I'm obsessed with it, and I hope you guys are too. I literally had the intent of doing this for maybe an hour, and I thought we were going to be done. It's probably been an hour and a half. I can't check. It doesn't tell the time. And I didn't keep track, but it's been a minute. But I love what we just did, and I hope you guys do it with me, or right now you go and do both of those little tests. Go manifest, go get your affirmations, go find out your love language. But I love you guys. I will see you guys next week. And we will get on these Tinder profiles. We will talk about more communication and love. And speaking of, I love you guys. You guys have a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I love you.